Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. We have embarked on our first real mission as a group. We are off to find the killer who is hunting down the elders of the Wampoa, or the Wampoans? The Wampoa is the ship. But there's 3 of them we talked to here, and then there are 3 that have died, including 1 more tonight. So that's who we saw. The people crowding around the building outside. Oops, that's not the right button. Well, nothing there. Maybe these people won't talk to us until we've actually gone and done that. They did say talk to people on Wampoa, but they said do it after, so maybe it is just locked. Alright. Porter Lamb, at your service. The elders told me that you'd be coming. They tell you about what happened to Tong? Just the basics. Well, nothing's basic about this. I've seen people shot, stabbed, beaten to death. Hell, I've even seen a corpse that was so dry and desiccated I could have sworn a vampire got to it. None of that's got anything to do... None of that's got anything on this. Brace yourself and go on in. Alright, well, they did tell us that they were eviscerating people, so, warning heeded. Yeah, that's a lot of blood. Tong's Sensory Carnival looks like a scene out of a B-grade slasher sim. The cloying scent of incense hangs thick and pungent in the air, emanating from the small shrine in the corner of the shop. Unfortunately, it does nothing to cover up the reek of death and clotted blood. Despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor, the rest of the shop appears to be in good order, at least at first glance. Nothing is broken, tipped over, or otherwise ransacked. As you're about to step further into the room, you glance at the ceiling and walls. The blood from Tong's body isn't just confined to where his remains lie. Drying blood is spread about the walls and ceiling as well. Oh, that's pretty weird. Tong's body is a ruined mess. The destroyed ruin of his face is barely recognizable, and what's left of his body would best be described as savaged. All of his limbs have been torn off, and a pile of flayed skin lies next to the remnants of the Wampoan elder. Yeah, that definitely makes me think this is personal. I mean, not that we already said a bit of it, but, like, obviously, dismembering somebody is a pretty, like, gruesome act that isn't necessary if you just want them dead, and especially if you go for their face, that's kind of extra personal. The Wampoan's clothing has all but been reduced to rags and tissue by cuts and tears, apparently sustained during the flaying. At this point, the only thing holding what's left of his body into a semblance of human form is the hair-thin fiber optics of his cyberware. Gobbet puts a hand over her mouth, speaking in an uncharacteristically serious tone. Sweet heaven, Dragon's Breath, I haven't seen anything like that since Auntie Wong tried to stash some tread sticks in a devil rat's nest. It takes a lot to turn my stomach, but we sure have a winner today. This is seriously messed up. I'll second that. This isn't a murder. This is more like, I don't know, a feeding frenzy. If it weren't for the skin, I'd say Tong stepped on a goddamn mine or something. Use astral perception to assense the body. Taking a deep breath, you allowed your senses to expand into astral space. The colors of the room bleed away, replaced with the vibrant lights and emotions of the spirit world. Surprisingly, no emotions of fear or anger pervade the room. The abiding emotion of the room is steeped. The abiding emotion the room is steeped in is one of perfunctory satisfaction, as if someone had accomplished an important task. It would seem likely that Tong was surprised. If he was not, it would be certain that you would feel lingering fear within the room. Whoa, really? Kaba takes a moment to center herself and stares off into space. Shortly thereafter, she shakes her head and looks back at you. That's strange, Dragon's Breath. You're right. You're right, though. He definitely didn't see it coming. Is that all we got here? Yeah, okay. None of us have biotech. The walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which has hardened into a crusty congealed paste. Thick tracks of it run laterally. It looks like the blood has been deliberately smeared. Hey, Dragon's Breath, I don't know a whole lot about science or all that, but I know what blood looks like when it hits a wall. This isn't natural. Somebody deliberately smeared blood all over these walls. See how it looks like it's got paint trails? That's because somebody used Tong's parts like a brush. I mean, yeah, his arms right here. So they painted the walls with blood? Why? Do I look like a psychologist to you? Maybe because they're a freak. Maybe they're one of those 6 serial killers that sees their murders as art. I got no clue. All I know is what normal blood looks like on a wall, and this ain't it. Some people have a bad grasp of art. I knew this guy in Kwangtung who used to make music out of stray radio static and panic button calls. Called it Crisis Wave. It was awful. Well, guess we'll see what's in the back. Tong's desk drawers are open, and the safe that's built into one side has been opened. There's no sign of tampering, and the green light next to the word unlocked is blinking. Whoever opened the safe did it with a key fob. Inside are several blank cred sticks, but no sign of any money with money on them. Looks like someone looted his stash. A guy like this wouldn't keep only empty cred sticks in his safe. Tong's bathroom is immaculate, and the drains are tiny. Whatever killed him didn't exit through here. This is a Yamaha 95000V SimSynth, a device for mixing and mastering SimSense chips. Several drive bays are empty, and all of the chip jacks are empty. The screen is flashing a repeated error message. Warning, requested files cannot be found. Please return drives to bay and try again. Have Isabel debug the SimSynth. Isabel rattles out some commands on the SimSynth's keyboard, stepping away after a few seconds with a look of satisfaction on her face. There, I've put the drive warning on suspend. It's in diagnostic mode only, though. Maybe we'll learn something, maybe not. Yamaha SimOS 5.23 System Diagnostics Check. Memory OK. Drive error. Assist bus OK. Beginning core dump. Please wait. Isabel studies the screen in detail as letters and numbers scroll by. Looks like Tong was cooking some BTLs in here. He's hacked the peak controller output cutoffs. The delta levels on sim chips are usually about 4 to 5, 6.5 for CalHots. His delta peaks are pushing 12. That's brain-burning territory, Dragon's Breath. And all the drives and chips those BTLs were stored on are missing. I never liked Tong, but it wasn't because he was a bad guy. I just didn't like any of the others. But if he was cooking chips at delta 12, maybe he burned somebody he shouldn't have. Maybe they flipped their lid and came after him, or a relative did. Isabel gives you a serious look, tipping her head at the synth. The metahuman brain can't handle this kind of output. It'll shut down after a few of these. Okay. Is that really the extent of all this? Well, I don't think we have anything else we can do in here. Hey there, need something else? What do you do around here, Porter? It's a catch-all category, I guess. I work for Elder Ip. It's a bit like being a deputy. I make sure people don't break the rules, protect people who need protecting. Mostly I just do whatever IP asks me to do. It's a pretty quiet job most days. Today's not one of those days. I also handle a lot of maintenance. I don't actually do the repairs, but I've got most of the keys. It makes it easy to ensure only authorized people get into sensitive places. Electricity go down? I let in the electrician who fixes the wiring. Toilet's clogged? I let the drone guy who opens it back up. It looks like somebody went through Tong's things. Has anyone else been inside? Not since I've been here. Before Ip found it? But before Ip found him? Could have been anybody, really. Ip had a key to his place, but the lock's total crap. Anybody half decent at cracking mag locks could have gotten inside. What's missing? His BTLs, hard drives, and cred sticks are all missing. Sounds like the killer looted his place to me. All this talk of monsters, yeah, sure, there are scary things that go bump in the night, but most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangers. See you later. I think the point about being a deputy and having all the keys might be relevant here. I don't necessarily think that Porter Lamb is a suspect, but there are probably multiple people holding a similar position to him, and so somebody who did have the keys, you know, he said the thing about you know, the lock's crap and anybody could have gotten in, but that could be a diversion or you know, some kind of red herring type of thing. Why are you all standing in the park in the rain in your bare feet? Alright, Zippy, you weren't available to talk to before. This orc is busily snacking on a steamed bun. As you approach, he wipes off one of his hands and sticks it out towards you. Hey, stranger. Nice to see you. Zippy Toe Tag at your service. How are you liking Wampoa Garden? I'm Dragon's Breath. Nice to meet you, Zippy. Nice to meet you, too. Listen, I know it's a little forward of me to just say hello and whatnot, but I'm interested in giving you a hand if I can. Zippy gestures expansively at all the squalid, neon-lit streets of Wampoa Garden. This is my home, at least for the time being, and I'd like to stop these killings. Okay. We've never met before this, but I know exactly who you are. You're my replacement. The elders had me autopsy what was left of Elder Gon and Elder Nakamura if they got ripped apart, but I didn't want to dig any deeper. So since I don't know you, and I can smell a Shadowrunner a mile away, you've got to be the outsider they asked to stop the killings, right? Zippy tilts his head back, obviously pleased at his amateur deduction. Very astute, that's right. See, I have good eyes. A lot of good eyes, actually, if you're in the market for replacements. Only slightly used, and they only come from certified donors, I swear. A hearty belly laugh erupts from the orc, and he slaps one of his thighs in elation. And I kill myself. That was awful. Zippy shrugs, grinning wide. I know. I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but all my jokes are terrible. So if you're not a comedian, what are you? I'm one of the only trained surgeons around here. I keep the other Wampoans healthy. Gotta practice down the road. Blind Chen's a pretty good cyber doc, but he's basically an implant specialist and that's it. How'd you end up here? Did my residency back in the UCAS. Could have become a real MD too if things hadn't gone south for unrelated reasons. Zippy opens his coat, revealing a cyber deck. He pats it proudly. I also deck a little, but I'm better at slicing skin than I see. Wampoa Garden seemed like a good fit for me. So is it fairly peaceful around here? For the most part, other than these killings, we don't have much in the way of problems. We do information security for the Triads, and that makes us fairly impervious to anyone who wants to start trouble. Anyone starts something, we'll hit him in the Matrix while our Triad friends hit him in meat space. Some small-time gangs have tried pushing in here before, but they backed off when they figured out they weren't just picking a fight with Tang and his guys, but with both the Red Dragon and Yellow Lotus. They got the message real quick, what was left of them anyway. You must have a lot of customers. That's the chip truth. I have to charge to cover my costs and eat, but it's damn near free service. There's always a waiting list. But it's good, honest work. I like helping my neighbors in the community. We all look out for each other. Somebody messes with one of us, they mess with all of us. I don't know if that's intended as a reference or not. It's a perfectly normal thing to say, but I can't hear that and not hear it said like it's said in Spider-Man. So that kind of community is rare as gold these days. How many places have an ethos like us? Not the damn cops, that's for sure. Or corpse, excuse me. I've lived in a lot of places, done my fair share of shadowrunning, but this place is special. It's been a long time since I really felt like anywhere was a real home. Zippy looks off past you towards the Wampoa Garden streets. His expression grows wistful, like he's remembering something from a long time ago. I'm sure I'll move again, but not for a while. I'm not done with the city or these people. Let me ask you about Wampoa Garden. Sure thing. What do you want to know? What can you tell me about the elders? Zippy laughs, shrugging. Well, they're an eclectic bunch, that's for sure. Where to start? Ung's the spiritual leader here. She's got the voice of the Wampoans, I guess. A lot of her close friends are really more of followers, since she's something of a priest for the machine spirits. Maybe it's a cultural thing from people who grew up here, but it's never called to me. Still, she makes a damn fine pot of tea. Ip's the muscle. It has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and bioware. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber, people start wondering if you'll tear their arms off. Zippy makes a chopping gesture with one hand. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3: The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. What about Tang? I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some trids of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones, has a shop called the Blessed Autofab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. You already know about Tong. Ransims, BTLs, skill chips. Gan used to be city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Zippy pauses to collect his thoughts. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment, trid mostly. Spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals and ads. Then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker. Hot as hell against IC and built her own hardware. Salty old woman, though. Never met one who was quite as shrill or nasty when she was mad. She was mad most of the time. Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago, she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of a pain in the ass, too. She owed me some new Analyze software she'd picked up. I've never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Wampoans. If she was a Decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there. Gao was older than Qin Shi Huangdi. Qin Shi Huangdi's Terracotta Warriors. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Still fast as hell in the Matrix, though. How can he be new and an elder? Isabel rolls her eyes. It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with the time spent in the community. That has something to do with it, sure, but it's mostly about how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everybody else. Should have called them experts or something. Bingo. That's exactly it. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix, in Shanghai and Beijing, all kinds of places. That plus her skill meant she was a shoo-in when Gao died. Why would she disappear? No idea. One day she was here, the next poof. At first I thought she was just on vacation, since she had mentioned wanting to see Kingdom of Hawaii one day, but it didn't feel right. She would have at least told me she was leaving. Seems mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seems to care what happened to her, probably because she pissed them all off so bad. A little odd for her to just disappear, don't you think? Of course it's odd. She owed me lunch, too, and she was the sort who paid her debts promptly. You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the other elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around, and even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders, they wouldn't have any reason not to let you in. What do you mean they were butting heads? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted a deck. She was only an elder because they needed somebody with her matrix chops. The last big argument was between her, Ip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the pirate trade business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused. She sounds like she didn't care for entertainment taking precedence over business. That's exactly it. She gave Nakamura an earful, let me tell you. She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment bullshit. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because it would get too much megacorp attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Lots of screaming. What do you mean blocking them? Everyone needs her matrix skills for their business to run properly. There are other deckers, me, Say, or Mo Jnebi, but she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. She's a real hardhead about having her time wasted, but she figures if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot if you ask me. Could you let me into her shop? No can do. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't have a key. You'd have to get it from Ip. He's taken over all the Matrix infrastructure and maintenance since Magpie disappeared. He's not as good as she is, or as I am, but they're not going to let anyone who isn't an elder take care of that kind of critical stuff. Let's just thumb through this. Oh, no, this is new. Okay, never mind. What do you think of the murders? There's a sharp intake of breath as Zippy shakes his head. Pretty gruesome business. Gan died from a broken neck. Looked like somebody had wrenched it around, and his arms and legs were cut off. Some skin flayed away, too. Nakamura had his throat ripped out by someone with pretty sharp teeth. At first I thought it was a devil rat, but the teeth marks were all from something with a humanoid jaw. I didn't look at Yatunde. From what I saw at a distance, it was the same story. Didn't seem much point, since I'd seen it twice already. As for Tong, from what Porter told me, it was Gan and Nakamura all over again. You take a look at him yet? What a weird response. Yeah, it's the same you described it for the others. Zippy shakes his head sadly. Damn. I like Tong. The BTL business is unsavory, but the man had to eat. And his regular Sims were great. Generally all-around nice guy. Friendly with everyone, never had anyone mad at him. There ain't no justice, let me tell you. See you later, Zippy. Okay, I wonder if Porter Lamb can give us the key. Need something else? What can you tell me about Elder Magpie? The Wampoan snorts, shrugging his shoulders. That she was a bitch? That I've never met anyone as deliberately contrary as her? There's not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest elder, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She'd block deals and argue with Nakamura and Ungs just because she could. It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people. So is that a no on the key? I guess not. Okay. Well, maybe we should go ask Ip for the key then first. I'm sure they probably have something to say too. Oh, there was a guy in that alley who wasn't there before. Is there anything we can do for you, Dragon's Breath? Why didn't you tell me about Elder Magpie disappearing? Why would we? Her departure from the Wampoans isn't related to your investigation. Well, says you, but it sounds like she had motive. Like, how she did this would be a different question, but she certainly has motive. It happened before the killings began. I'm certain she's just off sulking somewhere. Ung's tone is profoundly indifferent. No doubt she'll come waltzing back next month, all full of attitude that life dared go on without her asking her permission. If she does, we'll welcome her back, despite our problems with her behavior. Her skills make her extremely valuable. Wait a minute, didn't they? I thought they said Ip took over. I've taken over maintenance of our Matrix infrastructure in her absence, but I'm nowhere near her level. The best I can do is ensure nothing breaks down until she returns. Didn't they say Ip took it over? Is that an error in the writing, or is that an inconsistency I'm supposed to clue in on? She could be responsible for the killings. Not mentioning her seems like a major oversight. Ung recoils, expression incredulous. Magpie? I doubt that very highly. Whatever character flaws she might have had, she was a pacifist when it came to physical violence. What evidence do you have of that? Well, for one, she really wanted me removed from the Council of Elders. She said I was too prone to violence. Ip snorts, shaking his head in annoyance. I guess she never saw all the times I kept the Red Dragon from robbing her blind. I agree. Magpie would not resort to murder over personal disputes. The entire thing is ridiculous. I'd like to take a look around her shop. Do you have the key? Yes, but there's a lot of sensitive equipment in there, including our community servers. We don't let anyone who's not one of the Wampoan elders in there. Why would you need to look around there? Listen, you wanted me to find the killer. If I'm going to do that, I have to explore every possibility. Very well. Take the key and look around. Just don't break anything or shut the servers off. Is there anything else? I'll be going now. Okay, so these people can all talk now. It's still doing this thing when I walk past people, even though I clicked on them. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to Quack Atelier, home of the finest clothing in Wampoa Garden. I am the owner, Master Tailor Wingkick Quack. How may I serve you today? I didn't expect Wampoa Garden to have a tailor's in it. Many people don't. There's a mistaken impression that we Wampoans are only interested in technology in the Matrix. But even technologists need clothing, don't they? And many of us gravitate towards lines of work where added protection is required. I myself am a material scientist, as well as a keen follower of fashion trends. What kind of material science? Fiber-related, of course. Primarily aramid fibers, graphene composites, and dilettants. It affords me a certain unique perspective when designing clothing that is not only beautiful, but defensive as well. I specialize in high-fashion body armor, similar to the kind crafted by Securitech or Vashon Island, but with a much more personal touch. Show me what you have. Okay. I mean, these are all fairly basic, but... What am I wearing now? Do I not have body armor at all? Is that why? Huh. Seems like maybe that's the case. So these don't have special stats. Maybe I should pick this up. Hang on. Before I do that, let me make sure I'm not about to make an error. Oh, I do have armor. Yeah, I mean, not bad. Oh, okay, goodbye. There's a long fade out for some reason. Okay, well, new digs, cool. Okay. Rainbow. Why do I keep walking past people? It's so weird. This woman sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors, scintillating with every passing moment. She is powerfully built, a natural athlete, or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests in an arcade cabinet next to her. She affords you a short glance as you approach. When she speaks, you note a particularly lyrical accent to her voice. Something I can help you with there, friend. You're throwing off me game. I'm trying to beat me best score. Tank War Europa. I haven't seen one of those cabinets in years. The woman's mouth twists up into a wry grin. Aye, me neither. Managed to find this one near by accident. I'd heard the music and thought, hold on there, Rainbow. You know that tune. After a few moments, Rainbow's game was suddenly over, her tank obliterated by a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. She hisses her breath in through clenched teeth. Piss on your ma. A right robbery that was. Right then. Rainbow shakes her head again and turns to face you fully. You don't seem like them Wampoans. They're all a mite touched, yeah? Maybe you are, but you don't advertise it like they do. What's your story? I don't see a reason to hide this. Looking into the murders that have been happening. Ah, that's some nasty work. Bodies hacked up, chunks bitten out of them. How do you know that? Make sure you're loaded for something big and ugly, that's for certain. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's Irish, but where are you from? I can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin. Yep. Down by the banks of the Liffey. Spent most of me early life there, working security on sacred spaces, you know, historical sites or undeveloped land. The green movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger, but sure didn't beat some dead-end desk job. Spent a lot of time around County Dublin and Wicklow. Always loved animals and found out being a ranger put me in close with them. It was a good time, yeah? Making sure the budding new species like the bogies and centaurs didn't upset the ecology of Wicklow National Park much. Also kept the nastier bits like the usig, I don't know what that one is, from running amok across populated areas. Is that a... water horse? I don't know that one. Okay. It is really interesting all the different ways that like the mythology of our real world is made manifest in this world, like the mythical creatures in the same way humans became all these different races, that the spirits and mythological creatures and stuff came real to in various ways. Oh, I literally have the option to ask about this. Okay. And Usig? I don't know how to pronounce that. Irish and Welsh are both really hard to figure out pronunciations for. Isn't that a demon horse? Aye, that's right. They're cannibal horses, basically. Nasty buggers that drag people into bogs and drown you. Some people call them kelpies on account of the water plants they pop out of. Is that the same as a kelpie? That's not what came up immediately when... Hold on. Why does it have a separate Wikipedia article for... Huh, weird. Okay. Because I know the Kelpie name. I never heard the other one. And it's not that they're... Well, yeah. The Ich Usig name is apparently the Scottish Gaelic name. So it's not even that it's the Irish one and the Scots call it a Kelpie or something like that. That's literally the Scottish one, so that's weird. Anyway, as I was saying, problem was I started to develop this wee knack, just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go, spells fall apart, spirits fall apart, and the paracritters get real feisty, yeah? To make things worse, this was around the time Liam O'Connor threw his coup and formed Tir na Nog. I think we dealt with them in the first game? With all his fancy talk about elves and ancient magic, it was a bit scandalous to have a woman guard an ancient sites that wasn't just mundane, but also killed magic around her. So I got fired. You're older than Tir na Nog? Bang on. And I don't look a day over 25, do I? Rainbow flexes one arm, grinning widely. Aye, I'm Irish, not one of them noggins. Pack of punters, a lot of them. Always going on about their ancestral lands and the glory of the past and all that bullshite. I saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears weren't pointy enough, or they didn't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of old nobility. It was just that kind of thing that brought back the IRA, just like the bad old days of the Troubles. So she's like... She's probably 100 years old, at least, right? Is that I think that's the implication? The skivers in the new tier didn't pay for the land they took, they just had a pack of bullies with guns. Rainbow scratches up her face into a disgusted sneer and mock spits at the ground. I've always been sympathetic to the little guy in a fight. They offered to pay me for my help, so I said yes. Simple as that. She became a terrorist? Feh, don't be so dramatic. They fixed me up with a cyber stitcher and gave me a lot of the kit I've gotten me now, exchanged for going overseas to work for them. Smuggling, running guns, making contacts in Europe. Seem kind of shite all revolutionary groups do. Seeing as how I got me own fam kicked out... Seeing as how me own fam got kicked out of their house, I was glad to do it. I still do work for them these days, but there's a lot less of it. Lady Day cracked down on dissidents, but good. So what are you doing in Wampoa Garden? Me? I'm a bit of a big game hunter these days. Get into strange places, look for some kind of paracritter I've not seen before, and then I put a bullet in it. Only the nasty ones, though. No point in hunting Talus cat or such. It's only things like gargoyles, barghasts, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. I was out in Jakarta last year, hunting one of them Indonesian vampires. You ever heard of them? Actually, yes. This is actually a really interesting mythical creature. I love these things. Call them Layak or Penanggalans, or depending on who you ask. Their heads and guts come out of the body cavity and they fly around like a giant messy pile of pasta. Now that's a new description I've not heard for them. They are like they are like a floating head with a pile of entrails that drags underneath them. Rainbow bares her teeth and pantomimes floating around. That's such a... They don't even have to describe it that much. That's such a vivid... I love that description. That's great. Gives a lot of character to her being like a little bit goofy about the whole thing as well. I really enjoy that. Took me a solid 2 months to track her down, but I did. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay, Rainbow, where's the best place in East Asia to find some action? So Hong Kong it was. And the key what's-its here mean a bigger concentration of odd critters than you'd usually find in a city. Been spending a lot of time down in the storm drains these days. heard rumors of a rat king down there, where a mess of devil rats gets all tied together in some sort of big, awful rat beast. Haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time, yeah? She pats the barrel of her shotgun affectionately. See you later, Rainbow. Well, that is a little convenient that she's here at the time when there might be a rampaging evil monster, but I don't have suspicions about her or anything. That was a fun character to interface with, briefly. Okay, is this the only guy? Alright. The owner of the shop barely looks from his PDA while greeting you. His tone of what is one of immense boredom. Welcome to Min Vong Matrix Materials, aka MVMM. What can I get you? Oh, show me what you have for sale. Okay, so he's just selling stuff. Drug mule. Oh, yeah, we saw these before. Okay. So I guess these are if you want to upgrade while you're here. It's just another way to get a vendor. Okay. Why does it have such a hard time navigating? Okay. Let's talk to Porter one more time. Nope. Okay. Scope this out a little bit. I assume some of these people over here will have something. Yeah, those people do. And there's one over here. One over here, one down there. Where is Magpie's shop? Oh, is it this? It's probably this. Okay. Well, we're not going to do that just now. We'll probably do that last after we talk to everybody outside, actually. But, alright, cool. Take a little break. We'll do some more talking when we get back. See you guys for that later.